All right. Welcome to the Digital Forensics Now podcast, episode 21. And if you're not a programmer, episode 22. Today is Thursday, August 8th, 2024. Almost a year of the show. We're reaching it, almost there.
Almost.
My name is Alexis Brignoni, aka Briggs, and I'm accompanied by my co-host, New York Snow White, the one that Timus till she cannot Timu anymore, the lean and mean, but mostly mean, but only when she's hangry. Oh, and when they talk data forensics crap, the one and only Heather Charpentier. The music is Higher Up by Shane Ivers and can be found at silvermansound.com. Yay! And I mentioned, I think most of it was intelligible, hopefully. Hello, Heather.
Yeah, I could understand the whole thing. That was an interesting intro.
Yeah, don't worry, folks. If you're listening, tuning in, we're gonna explain the intro little by little as we go along. which, by the way, I think we can notice a difference here in my setup here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alex has been banished to the closet. I do. I like it though.
It's funny because if any Harry Potter fans in the chat here, I see they're just like, hey, Adam is on the chat.
Hi,
What's
Adam.
up, Adam? So we're good to see you. We're staying up late all the way from the UK. So we'll make that joke in a second. So you see Harry Potter fans, you know that Harry Potter lived on the cupboard under the stairs. This is literally under the stairs in my house. so I'm a little bit of a Harry Potter setup here.
It looks good. It looks good.
What's that I'm saying? What's that I'm saying? Can you read it, Heather?
Still watching HBO thanks to Heather and waiting for Briggs to wear the shirt. If you know, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I had the shirt. I need to wear it.
And if you watched a previous version, you know why he's watching my HBO.
Yeah, previous episode. So if you don't know what they put things on the movie, the Easter egg. If you don't understand that Easter egg, you need to watch a previous episode to get it.
Yes,
or the reference. Anyway, so this is my cupboard, a cupboard under the stairs office.
It's good, but you don't have as many wall signs, and I don't know, my wall signs are kind of starting to show yours up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have many walls to begin with.
Or door sign, sorry.
Yeah, like this thing, like I cannot extend my arms to my right. I won't fit here. Kevin's in the chat. Hello, Kevin. It's always
Kevin.
Good to have all the main folks under the Leap Repo and main mastermind of all good things. So good to see you, Kevin. So yeah, so everybody can see my new office. So I mean, office new for everybody. Hopefully, it's good. How about you? What you been doing up? What's up with you lately?
Oh, I mean, not a ton. I am a new bird lady. I thought I would share that with everybody. My parents got me the Bird Buddy, the camera for outdoors to capture video and images of birds, and I'm obsessed with it. So yeah, I'm gathering. I call it like my old lady habit. I'm gathering my old lady hobbies, I guess. So here's my birds. I have the hummingbird attachment.
And let me tell you, you said so folks. She sent me the picture of the hummingbirds come in, right? Also the squirrels and all the birds. And I'm like, how many animals? So I say she's Snow White, right? Like they all congregate now in front of her feeding camera, and it's uncanny. It's amazing.
The squirrels have figured out how to climb the pole. Well, I'm sure they knew how to do that, but they climb the pole, get in there, and eat all of the bird seed. So that's kind of what I've been up to, watching my bird cam.
Oh, hey, look. I mean, the next thing is knitting, and you'll be set.
I know. It's funny you say that because I made a post that says I'm a cat lady, now I'm a bird lady. I'm going to be sitting on my couch knitting a damn Afghan soon. So.
Hey, look,
I'm not doing that.
Can you make a beanie for me at least?
Yeah, sure.
I have this hat. As you can see, my hat, right? I did not put gel in my hair, and so then okay, I'll confess, I'm trying to be the next Justin Tolman, but unaffiliated. See, there's no company name here.
Oh, if you don't know who Justin Tolman is, he works for Xtero, and I don't think I've ever seen him without a hat on. ever.
I think he showers with it on. No, okay. Look, Justin is doing a great podcast, FTK Over the Air, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Their last episode, they had the guy from Medics. Oh, he's a great guy. What's his name? The Medics
Brennan,
Forensics.
Pepsi.
Yeah. Oh, Brandon Epstein. Epstein. Oh, what an awesome interview. So if and about AI and how that works with LLMs used to identify things in data and how that relates to the concept of black box, and should that be uh, introduced at court on the Dober standards, all those good stuff. You should go and watch that podcast, video podcast.
Yeah,
Stream
definitely.
is fantastic. So, but again, a lot of love for Justin. Just I know he was born with that hat, so we might as well keep it on him at all times. It's all good. I'm trying to be like you, man.
You're not quite there yet. You're getting there.
Oh, definitely not. I don't think I'll ever get there. He's just one him. I'm a cheap imitation. Anyways.
So, what have you been up to? I already know quite a story that you have.
Yeah, and I will make it after I make one last point. That
Okay.
sign on the side of you. That's a new sign. I love it.
It is. It's a new sign. So it's from Etsy. I love Etsy. It's not from Temu, even though you decided that you should pick on me about Temu in the intro. But it says digital forensics now, and I've got the little twinkle lights behind it, and came out pretty good. Some guy made it. Yeah.
Oh, it looks great. I mean, obviously you couldn't ask for it on Temu because it's not gonna be here yet. It's gonna take like 8 months to
At
be
least.
shipped from some China sweatshop somewhere. I don't know. Anyways,
I love my Temu.
Before I go into what I've done, Lori's saying no knitting, crochet. Okay, like, get your old lady things in gear. Not knitting.
Lori, that still adds to my old lady list. But I'm gonna embrace it.
I think you should. And we're being asked if we be like in the Olympics. We have a meme about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So stay all the way to the end. So yeah, so since you ask, I'm gonna have a whole presentation about what I've been up to lately since last we had the show. So let's bring it up. Let's bring up the slide.
Okay.
So everybody, since it's our show, you have to put up with me. So we had for the first time IASIS, and you can see my shirt here. It says IASIS. We had on this side. We were asked to teach the mobile device forensics course in New Zealand. What a beautiful place. So,
I'm not jealous at all that I didn't get to go. Not even a little bit.
No. I mean, no, of course not. That's like the Friends episode. I'm not jealous. Yeah. I'm not envious at all. So yeah, so the trip started here in Orlando, so that's where I live. So I was pretty happy, and let's get it going. The slide. So yeah, so I was in Orlando, happily ready for my trip, really happy. And I started my trip. I went from Orlando to San Francisco because you need to fly across the country, then across the Pacific. But then when we get to San Francisco, guess what, right? My flight was delayed for some little technical problem. Don't worry, guys, it's just delayed. And Andrea's up in the chat. Hey, Andrea, so good to see you always. She's killing it, by the way. She works not with me in my office, but in my organization, and she's killing it. So anyway.
I know I was going to try and get her to come work for us, and then I saw that she came and started working for the FBI. Wow.
Too bad. Sorry for you. All right, so good for us. So so a little problem, and that little problem turned out to be something else. So I'm running to make my flight to New Zealand, and I'm telling Heather, I gotta get there. Heather's like, you gotta run, right? And as I'm running, I see the screens turning a weird but known shade of blue. Yeah, so literally I sent Heather a picture here. Literally it's blurry because I'm running to the plane. I said, look at this, Heather. That's a screen. Folks that are not listening, it's a screen from an advertisement in the airport, and it has a blue screen of death. And I'm like, that's kind of weird that its advertisement screen has a blue screen of death, right? Because I didn't know what was happening. Well, as you all know, the CrowdStrike Mageddon had hit the airports. And for those that haven't heard, this EDR company, kind of cybersecurity company, they put clients on the endpoints in your network, and they, make sure that they keep the endpoints safe from malware and ransomware, stuff like that. Well, they sent an update. The update just started blue screening all the computers, like literally all the computers in the airport. So let's see the next slide. I mean, it was so bad that all the screens about, departures or where your luggage is, all blue screen, all across the airport, the terminals, across the airport. So we're stuck. And I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? Right? No hotels because there's no vouchers, because no nothing. So I had to sleep on the floor. I was lucky enough to finagle an open. You can see me there, an open port to charge my stuff because I'm spending the night on that. I spent most of the night in that spot on the floor of the airport. Um, all hundreds and hundreds of us because we were kind of fighting over the not fighting. That's not true, but kind of looking for ports to charge. So anyhow, so I slept there a little bit, and yeah, I'm lucky I had my luggage with me. I had it all carry on because I packed really tight, and he had to put nothing under the plane. So at least I kept it with me. Some folks couldn't even get their luggage, and the lines were ridiculous. I think it's the next one. The lines were ridiculous to get that. So yeah,
Oh,
can only
jeez.
look at the lines and time to rebook. So I was originally slated, yeah, to fly straight to Auckland in New Zealand, and nope, the next one they flew me down to Melbourne in Australia first. So before I left, I was so stinky I had to take a shower. And I discovered that you can take a shower at the SFO in San Francisco, the airport, if you pay $30 for 30 minutes. It's the most expensive shower I've taken, but it was totally worth every single dollar. So yeah, so I got a ticket. There we go. So I went to Auckland. I mean to Melbourne first. So I started that flight across the Pacific, and I got lucky because thankfully I think I was the only person on that plane that had a whole row for myself, which is the universe giving me a break because I was about to break down emotionally over the whole thing. Poor
I
Heather
would
had
have.
to, yeah, poor Heather had to hear my cries, right? So I was able to actually lay down. They put your seatbelt, and I literally put my seatbelt as I'm laying down. I'm not sitting up. Um, and then that's a little bit I guess a sun no this the sunrise over the Pacific, really nice.
It's
So
pretty.
yeah, no, it was tough. So we got there to Melbourne, and they had to fly kind of backwards again to the other side, to New Zealand there, and that's one another 3.5 hours. While I waited in Melbourne, they had Hungry Jacks. And like, what is Hungry Jacks? Well, then I figured out that's just Burger King. Like literally Burger King. He's just called Hungry Jacks there.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, the same thing. Although they have a burger, it's like you took a Whopper, like Whopper meat, and put it in a Big Mac.
Oh.
It was kind of weird, like a Big Mac made out of Whoppers. I don't know what the name of that was, but it was actually pretty good. I guess they don't get sued for doing that over there as opposed to the US. Anyways, I don't know. There you can see me flying back and flying to Auckland, and then arrived. Now, when I got there, what a fantastic place! I stayed at a hotel next to the Sparks Arena. It was pretty nice. Adam telling me that McDonald's over there is called Mackey's or Macy's. I don't know how to pronounce it. Adam, pronounce it. Mackey's, Macy's. I don't know. I guess Mackey's. This sounds better. I don't know.
McDonald's, Mackey's, yeah.
Yeah. Mickey D's. I guess it's over here also. But anyways, and so one of the things that I found interesting is that they drive on the wrong side of the road. And again, I'll go right, wrong, get it. But which it was funny because is there Vegemite over there? I do not know if they had it in New Zealand. I know they have it in Australia. Anyways, that's Matthew asking. So I had to be careful because I'm used to looking certain ways crossing the street, and here's the opposite, right? You expect cars coming from one direction, they're coming from the other one. So yeah, onto the right side of the road. I don't know about that. Oh, there we go. See, now I just pissed off other people.
I got to
in the
share that
UK.
one. The correct civilized side of the road, you mean?
See, now I got everybody mad. Look, there's the right and there's the other side. Sorry. No, I kid. Actually, oh, that's another thing. So Brent Whale's gonna pick us up, and I'm gonna start, walking to get into the car, and he's like, it's on the other side.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
yeah, I'm not driving, obviously, so I need to sit on the other side. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, I'm taking too long on this story, but let me hurry up. So here I am. So it was a great event. It was hosted by Customs, New Zealand Customs Office. What a great group of people. They have a tremendous lab with amazing examiners there. There were also some other folks from other agencies that I'm not gonna disclose here. And it was a great event. I was teaching with a couple of folks. I was teaching. I think it's the next slide. Yep, I was teaching with John Sun right there. He's there from New Zealand, and with Mario Merendon. He's a great examiner. He's the class lead for the mobile device forensics course, in the same way that Heather is the lead for the advanced course for the course I teach with her. So yeah, I know the two leads, so it's fantastic for me. I got to teach with Mario. And there we are. So we gave the class, and that's me teaching SQLite because I mean, well, SQL within SQLite, right? And we taught a whole bunch of data structures. Something I found interesting about New Zealand is that the plugs are different. I can expected that, but I love the little to turn the lights on and off. What's that called? The switches,
Yeah.
because they're tiny and kind of like little coins. It's not in the U.S. The U.S. are like all sticking out like a stick like that, right? So I don't know. I found they were cute. I like those. So I learned the joys of drinking LMP. So also really fantastic. I know it has some lemons in it. What else? What else is there? I don't know, but it was fantastic. So I drank quite a few of those. It's a local software, soft drink. My brain was thinking about things, right? See that Adam is saying, see, he has the opposite reaction when he goes in the US, wants to get in a car, he wants to get into the driver's seat because he's confused, right? Yeah, so good. Yeah, one thing that I noticed about Auckland, what a beautiful city, is so clean, Heather.
Yeah.
I was trying to go out of my way to find trash, either on a sidewalk, on the curb. I'm so crazy like that. I saw a little alleyway between two buildings, and I went down that alleyway looking for trash
That was clean
because
too.
all alleyways have no trash. Like how do they do this? That picture that you see there looks all clean and like washed and clean.
Yeah.
That's the whole freaking city. It's like that.
That's crazy.
It
That's
is
crazy.
crazy. It is crazy. Good on them, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so there's a couple more pictures of the place of the city. It's there right there next to to the bay. Beautiful places, beautiful buildings. I went to the winter, but it's not a really bad winter. It's pretty at least when I was there, it was kind of mild. It wasn't too bad, so I liked it. And see, it's Adam saying that Tokyo's kind of the same way. The people don't put trash out. So yeah, all the streets were super nice. Something I found interesting, I think, is the next one. It's they have this little yeah. So Young took us to this rooftop bar. What a great view from the
That
rooftop
looks
bar.
nice.
Yeah, so I never drink, but since Mario, and Young were kind of peer pressuring me, I took a little bit of a drink.
Yeah, I try and get him to have a drink with me. No go. He gets over there with Jung and Mario, and it's game on.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say game on. Like that's far away from what I actually did. Yeah, I don't drink. Yeah, but so I was gonna talk about that. So you said you see those kind of bumps there, and folks that cannot. Sorry, you're not seeing this, but it's like little bumps. They're kind of waist high, and they're kind of nice, like in the road. So on top of them, there's this glass, and when you look into them, which is the next one, what you see down there is the actual train station. It's like a ceiling.
Cool.
What's that called? Ceiling light? No, roof light. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Sunlight.
Like a
right?
sunlight thing, but it goes straight down to where the station is. A sunroof, well, whatever.
Well,
it's fantastic. And I was there like looking at people walking up and down like an idiot. But it was great. I loved it. And then I was lucky enough. Oh, that's the train station. Look how beautiful it is.
That's nice.
And we went in just to check it out. Beautiful building. Everything's so organized, and people there to help you. Hey, what you need? Where you want to go? All that type of stuff. Right. So I was lucky enough to go to the Serious Fraud office. I think that's the next one, hopefully. Oh no! Before I do that, we did that. Okay, folks. Folks that are listening, you cannot see this. We were walking through the city, and we found a business called the Ding Dong Lounge. Right, literally the thing with in neon lights. And since my mind is that of a 10-year-old, I'm like, what's a Ding Dong Lounge? Like that's where you put them to rest when you're not busy. Like I put my ding dongs in this lounge, just whatever that means. I don't know. The Ding Dong Lounge. Maybe that means something in New Zealand. I don't know what that means. So yeah. So moving right along. After the Ding Dong Lounge, what you see here is a picture of the Sky Tower. It reminds me of the one in San Antonio. What's that called? San Antonio. It's like a big tower. They have a restaurant that kind of goes in circles like that, goes around slowly, so you can see the city 360 view. Oh, it was fantastic. I have a picture. The next one's a couple of pictures from up there. Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful city, Matthew. Yeah, I agree. It's a beautiful city. It's from a distance. And then we went up there. Brent Whale. He's one of the in the board of IASIS. The guy's a legend, right? If you've been associated with IASIS, you know who Brent is. And not only is he a legend, technically speaking, because his digital forensic expertise is deep and really knowledgeable. He's such a great human being. It's like the best host. What a great guy. So he took us there. You can see the city there, like in the afternoon, really pretty. Also at night, I took a picture at night from while we're having dinner going around the city. You can see the bridge there in the back. crossing the bay. Oh, what a fantastic experience!
It
Oh
is
my goodness.
beautiful.
Sorry you missed it, Heather.
I was
It's
just
too
gonna
bad.
say again, not jealous at all that I couldn't go on that trip.
And then I do want to talk about that's at night. So I want to talk about the Sears fraud office. That's the next one. So they work all sorts of different type of crimes, corruption cases. Super fantastic. If their building, that's the next one. It's literally right there at the bay. And let me show you how that's that picture I took there, like in a window, the bay behind me. That's their lunchroom. And I'm like, really? This is the lunchroom? Jesus, like, wow, what a great view. You can hear the seagulls and the boats and all the birds, whatever it is, right? Great picture. I love the name Seals Fraud Office. I was making Jung a joke, like as opposed to the funny fraud office, I guess. I mean, he's so polite. He kind of chuckle at it because he's polite. It's a really bad joke. So yeah, it was a great place.
Adam's telling me that I got to go to Wilmington to techno, and that is the same as you going to New Zealand. And I am gonna say no, that it might not be exactly the same.
It's a few tiny differences. It's closer though.
Yeah. And I didn't have to take that horrible flight.
Oh my God, what a pain in the behind. All right, so what else? We gotta wrap this up. It's just I love this trip so much. You all have to endure with me. So I this picture on my right, I guess, in the middle, that's Brent. Marius on the other side. You see Jung and some of the other students in the class from the different agencies. They have art everywhere. That's the lobby of the building. Kind of this hanging art, all the colors. The native culture there is so respected, and it really it permeates throughout the city and the people there. And it's so fantastic. I learned about the Maori culture and even rugby, and I went to different places to eat, and it was a fantastic trip. Of course, all good things come to an end, so I had to fly back. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as the first. The going out was better than the coming in. Back to San Francisco and then back to Orlando. I think that's it. Yep, I go back to Orlando and here. But I hope to return one day. So there we go. Thank you, everybody, for putting up for 10 minutes this story and these pictures, because I had to share them because it was such a great trip.
That trip had to be shared. It looks so awesome. I hope to be able to go in the future. And if anybody is thinking of joining as a volunteer for IASIS, do it. Look, Alex joined and he got the chance to go to New Zealand and teach. Those opportunities come up when you volunteer for the organization as an instructor or a row coach or any other capacity that they may have available. So definitely think about it. It's a great organization.
Yeah, I mean, and you volunteer, right? So it's not paid. We don't get a single cent, but we get the experience sometimes of traveling. But even if you don't travel, the experience will be able to develop that future generation. I say future, but kind of current generation of examiners, being able to really make a difference not only through your own casework, but through the casework of others. It's this overlapping, always growing circle of good. When you put yourself in at the service of humanity, which is what IASIS, I believe, does. So highly recommend it.
Agreed. So let's talk about some topics this week then.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the newest version of Magnet. I don't know if there's anybody listening or anybody who listens after we're not live anymore. If you haven't heard on the groups or the listservs, there is a little issue with Magnet, but there's a fix. So if you updated to the latest version of Magnet Axiom, you might notice that it's running slow. And the word is that tech support is aware, and it's an issue with the NVIDIA CUDA driver version. There's a write-up in their support portal on Magnet's website that addresses the system requirements that you need to have for Magnet Axiom and Magnet Axiom Cyber. And one of those requirements is that the appropriate runtime version of CUDA must be between 11.2 and 12.3. So on those listservs and groups where people were talking back and forth about the issue, that was the fix. They were saying they rolled back CUDA and didn't have the problem anymore. So kind of like a little public service announcement here. If it's running slow, there is a fix.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make I guess not opinion, but it's an observation. So, software development is that's how it is, right? You had the CrowdStrike that I mentioned with a crash computer. Sometimes some updates get sent, and maybe some of that checking full drivers kind of fall through the cracks, right? Or some features are missing to the point that, like happened with Celebrite, they sent an email out stopping development, of the insights product till some of those issues were resolved, right? And
Hmm.
I'm saying that because again, we tend to put our faith on the tools, and you should. But at the same time, I say faith. Faith is not a good word. We trust that they will work as they should, but sometimes they don't, right? And you need to be aware of that. And hopefully vendors see. I don't want to talk out of line because the amount of work as a developer that goes into these products is immense. The amount of testing that they do is immense. The amount of people, but sometimes it happens, right? And I know at the same time, I know, and I know this for these companies I mentioned, but in general, there's also pressures, right, that come from being a public traded company that has financial targeting goals, and product needs to be released at a certain times to hit certain financial goals. And the question is, how much would that influence the speed of development? I don't know, but I guess my take is the hope that these companies, the head of these companies, understand that companies are here to make profits for sure, but these companies, they're more than that, right? The type of software that we depend on is not any type of software. It's not like some game, like an app for a game, right? Big decisions are taken based on some of the workings of these tools. So hopefully, my hope is that development cycles are not shortened because of that financial pressure. Again, I'm not speaking out of any particular knowledge. I'm just opining in a general sense, knowing how the software business works. So just a thought, you know.
You have something coming up. So the
Yeah,
DeeperCon, want to talk about that?
yeah. I'm really happy. I was honored that Sans. So the thing is, this Sans has a community day. And the thing with the I don't know if they call it community day. You have a picture of that by any sense? That
Yeah, it's
the
Community Day. Yep.
community day.
I don't
Actually,
have
I
the
think
picture, but yeah.
I have the picture. That's why you don't have
Oh,
it, because I
okay.
have
All
it.
right.
So let me
Perfect.
show. Yeah, let me show folks the picture. So they have the community day, and let me share that. And it's pretty neat because they invited me and a few other folks for the community learning day. That's the full name, and it's gonna take place in Miami on November 17th. I don't know if it's gonna be live, or that's not live, but like kind of streamed or something. I'm not sure. I need to figure that out. Lately, Sans has been putting stuff out for folks to watch for free. If not live, maybe later on, a few months later, a few weeks later. So what I'm gonna be doing there is I'm be talking about again the lead platforms. There is Python, it's multi-platform. Also, we develop all the folks like Kevin and all the folks, Johan. Um, we develop for Android, iOS parsers for those. So how can we run them? What can we get from them? And also highlight some interesting parsers that you cannot see anywhere else, and a little bit of kind of a lab setting when people can run the tool. So that's gonna take place from 10 a.m. to 12. So I got maybe like almost 2 hours there. That will do a little bit of a lab environment. So I'm gonna highlight some of those. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, and I'll put in the show notes afterwards. There's an agenda for that whole event, and there's a whole bunch of other presentations going on as well.
Yeah, and Adam's saying, it's
Sorry.
yes, that's fine. I mean, I'll do it up. So Adam's saying, amazing place, sharing amazing knowledge, win-win for everyone, and that's something that I want to see. I like seeing from vendors or education providers like Sans, more community events like that. We need some of those.
So, recently I was talking with Alex Caithness from CCL Solution Group, and he has a new plugin parser, and I'm going to show everybody that it is called Mr. Skinnylegs. And I had no idea what the reference was to. I'm sure if there's any parents in the chat, they will probably know what Mr. Skinnylegs
Look,
is.
I have a 6-year-old and an about to be in a couple of weeks 9-year-old, and I immediately knew what was it about.
I had absolutely no idea, and I had to ask. But apparently, it is a spider from Peppa Pig. So I googled Peppa Pig. That is a strange children's show. That pig is weird looking.
Oh no! The Peppa Pig is the best, and I love the Miss Rabbit. She's like Miss Rabbit does everything, so that's how I feel at work. I'm the Miss Rabbit of my office sometimes.
Okay,
parents understand.
If you say so. If you say so. So, yeah, so I had no idea what that was, but the whole program, the plugin that Alex created, it provides a command line interface to run plugins against Chrome or Chromium profile folders. So, let me just flip. It currently has available for plugins. It includes Discord chat messages, Dropbox session storage, user activity, Dropbox file system, Dropbox thumbnails, Google Drive files and folders, Google Drive thumbnails, Google Drive usage, Google searches, Office 365 SharePoint recent files and user activity, history, downloads, local storage, and session storage. So I installed and tried it out. The tool requires that you have installed Python 3.12 or above. It's not a suggestion. I learned the lengthier, harder way that you have to read the README and do what it says. So,
I want to say a quick comment there. I bet it's the duck typing errors and all that, because I had it had to me with some of the Alex code. By the way, folks that don't know Alex, he's like, I would say he's like the third co-host, I think, even though he's never been on the show, because we mention him like every other show or every show.
We do. He's definitely.
Alex is great. And something I want to highlight there, all the places that Heather talked about what it gets data off from, is places that I believe some tools kind of neglect a lot.
100%.
But has important information, which Heather's gonna show us, but has important information. So I'm really happy that Alex and CCL through Alex is actually putting this content out. But so you're installing Python 12, right?
312. Make sure you have 312. I'm actually going to share Adam Furman's comment. We all have to add to Skinnylegs. So Alex and I were actually talking about that prior to the show. Agreed. There's so much that can be added to Skinnylegs, and I am sure he will take all suggestions, research, assistance on doing that 100%. So the tool requires that you install dependencies and that you use a virtual environment. The README that goes along with this script is excellent. It's really detailed, walks you through the process. Sometimes when I go to GitHub and I'm trying to run some of those program scripts or whatever it may be, I can't figure out what I'm doing because the README is a little scarce. This one is very detailed, and nobody should have a problem. I had a couple problems, but I figured them out pretty easily. So it even addresses some issues that you could encounter and how to overcome them right in the README. So once it's all set up, so here I have the 3 simple commands to set it up. You create the virtual environment, activate it, and then use the pip install requirements to install the requirements needed for it to run. Just a screenshot of it installing the requirements. And then there's a simple script or a simple command that runs the Mr. Skinnylegs Python script on the user's Google profile folder. So it's a little hard to see there, but the user's Google profile folder is located at your users and then your username, app data, local, Google, Chrome, user data, and then it's the profile folder. And maybe profile 1, 2, 3. Mine was up to 8. I noticed a while ago that my profile folder was getting rather large and I deleted it. So I'm now up to 8. But the script will then output to an output folder in the Mr. Skinnylegs directory. This is my error. So when you go to run the script on that Google profile folder, the browser can't be open. And it, again, took me a very long time to figure out that I just needed to close the browser and then rerun it.
Remember I told you, always look at the last line.
Yeah.
Operational error, database is locked. So you have to read the last part.
I know. Alex actually ended up telling me, he's like, did you close your browser? I said, well, no, I didn't close my browser. I've run the script like 3 or 4 more times and had the same error 3 or 4 more times because I, for some reason, can't get it through my head that the browser needs to be closed. So if anybody's listening, close the browser.
Look, SQLite is a single user database, so you can't be trying to make it multi-user. Sorry.
Yeah, I tried. It didn't work. Once it kicks off, the process will start. This is what the screen will look like. It has the Mr. Skinnylegs at the top. It tells you what plugins are loaded and what's going to be running. And then I'm going to share with you the actual output folder. So the output.
I always love the ASCII things to put, the name of the tool in ASCII on the top, like the little symbols there. I always dig those.
All right, let me share here. There we go. So it goes right into the Mr. Skinnylegs directory in an output folder. And let me see if I can zoom in here.
I mean, I think it's.
Can you see it?
I think it's fine.
Okay. So there's
it's readable. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's folders, data dump, Discord, Google Drive, Office 365, SharePoint I had in here. So Discord was actually one of the more interesting ones. I launched Discord from the browser at Alex's recommendation to check this out. And from the browser, my messages are now parsed with the Mr. Skinnylegs plugin, the parser for Discord. It kicks it out in both a CSV version and JSON on most of the artifacts. And let me pull up the CSV here so I can show you. If I have one complaint about this platform that we use to show, it's I need to have an easier path to sharing. So there we go. I have my Discord messages. I think I'm asking Alex about Peppa Pig in these. I'm not going to leave it up for long, so you don't read all of mine and Alex's messages. However, I am asking him about the Peppa Pig and what it means, and then going on to ask about the errors that I'm having. So the JSON file, I'm going to share that as well because I brought that one up in Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole is a tool that we've talked about on the podcast quite a few times. And Rabbit Hole will also parse that data from the JSON file. So I brought it in under JSON, and it has everything laid out in the key value pairs there. So I have the channel ID, the message ID, the author ID, the message type, the content, and a whole bunch of other data that comes in along with those Discord messages that are parsed out. And I think this is a message with me and Alex, and I'm saying, yay, the new release of Rabbit Hole is out. So it pulled all of those messages.
Yeah. Why can't I find a place to download it? Because you need to find the right link.
I didn't have the right link. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
The old link.
I'm full of errors. But so this is really, really cool. I thought this plugin was awesome.
Let me tell you something. An expert is nothing else than a person that has gone through all the wrong ways of doing something till they get to the right thing. So that's what actually you should be proud of finding the errors, because that one makes you an expert. That's a fact.
Do I have to take the longest path every time though? I don't know. So
you took all paths. There you go. Right. That's how we roll here.
So Alex and I were talking before the show too, and he was telling me how he researches these artifacts. So I'm just going to pop up another screen here. You can, in your Google browser, just perform a Google search. So I'm going to search just my own name. And then if you hit F12, we get a nice little pane over here on the right-hand side. And if I go to session storage and the google.com, I have that search I just made for Heather Charpentier with the timestamp. The timestamp can be decoded. And other information all in this pane. And it can be used for research purposes, maybe to add to this tool in the future.
Yeah. So that screen is for the folks that are listening, that's the developer options from the browser. And it's pretty cool because when you open the developer options, you're seeing the different structures and APIs that the browser uses to display things to you. And Heather there is showing the session storage, those APIs. And for who don't know what an API is, imagine that you're in a restaurant and you want some food and you want to order. So you can't just be like, hey, bring me a salad. Maybe they don't have salads, right? Maybe it's a burger joint. Well, you have to look at the menu, right? You pick from the menu and they go to the kitchen and they can give you your food based on the menu. That API is the menu, right? It's the things that you can do and how you're going to do them, right? You can order. Now, in this case, the session storage is the API, but the kitchen where the stuff is kind of kept and made, in this case, will be the level DB databases. Okay. And you can see their key value pairs. This is one way as you're browsing and doing different pages to look at what's inside those level DB stores through the API. And then with that knowledge, like Heather's saying, then we can figure out, okay, there's important information about this particular session storage of a particular page. Maybe we can pull those out with Mr. Skinnylegs and have it in this format that we can look at and read, right? And I look at some of the code Alex was showing me. I love how it's kind of in spirit, kind of compatible spiritually with the Leap platform, and we're discussing and at some point maybe we can even make some integration. So I'm
Yeah,
really
that'd be
excited to
awesome.
see, yeah, seeing all this development, community development around parsing and addressing areas of digital forensics that I believe, and I think of us, we believe that haven't been addressed by third-party tools. So we're trying to fill that gap community-wise. So I'm really happy about it.
I
So yeah.
am looking forward to helping with that. I'm going to figure out how my skills will fit in to help add additional plugins to that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna make a couple of more points.
Sure.
Alex is saying the ASCII logo is the most important part. That's the part you need to take the most time to figure out how it's gonna be all lined up to make it legit. So I agree. I agree with him, right? And, and Kevin is saying, maybe so we can automate it with Cape, and that will be Cape is a tool done by Eric Zimmerman, and he's such a great. He used to work at my organization. Now he's in the private sector. Great tool. So that's another option that it would be good to kind of look into more integrations, because like Adam says, it's all about community, right? We push the field forward, not from the vendors. And we have that misconception that, the MSABs or the Celebrites or the FTKs or whatever, you mentioned the company, we as a community, we push them, right? And we have to make them aware of the needs and what we're trying to accomplish so the field can move forward. So yeah, it's all about community. So Adam, again, totally in sync.
So, outsourcing your responsibilities to tool automation. I know you have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah. So yeah. How much time we got? I gotta keep my eye on the clock. So we're gonna make it quick. So let me show. I think I have it here. So yeah, I was reading some posts, I think in Threads or somewhere else, and the posts were talking about some automation, specifically not automation, but AI. So I'm gonna share with folks. I'm gonna read for you a little bit of the post that piqued my interest. The thing was saying that the person was saying this article from a newspaper, saying writing is hard because the process of getting something onto the page help us figure out what we think about a topic, a problem, or an idea. If we turn AI to do the writing, we're not going to be doing the thinking either. And that really resonated with me, right? In two ways. The first one is, yeah, absolutely. If you are literally, let me just take this out of the screen. If you are literally just pushing, and again, AI tooling is becoming now part of our digital forensics software. They're there now in a couple of third-party tools. You gotta be careful, right? When you look at a tool result and you try to make sense of it, there's a process of thinking, of connecting what this means with other parts of the case and other artifacts, some of the things that you need to follow up on because the tool doesn't show you. When you put an LLM, right, this large data model or whatever, on it, and you ask it questions and you take that result, my fear is that the examiners of the near future are gonna be happy with making a question to the thing and then copy pasting that result into a report and sending it out, right? And there's no thinking there. And the problem is that this type of work requires deep thinking, really understanding. And I just thought of a crazy example, right? Let's say you ask the tool, is there any? I think we discussed this before. Is there any? I think it actually came from you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna say you tell me. Let's imagine that you ask the LLM in cases of child abuse, is there any grooming prevalent on these device, right? And then it says, yeah, look at there, and you read it, but when you read it in context, it's a mother telling his son how much she loves him.
Yeah.
Well, that's not grooming. You know what I mean?
No.
I think that's your example, right? If I remember
it
correctly.
is. I have a filter in a couple of tools that have done that. And the filter's great. It will pull the grooming stuff out, but you have to go read it afterwards. Because there have been conversations with the mother and son, and mom's just saying, "I love you, honey." And that's not grooming.
Well, imagine somebody copy pasting that thing there.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And push folks in the chat are also talking. Push button forensics, at least today, used to be, okay, I just print out the report and that's it, right? And maybe I have no interpretation knowledge, and I just put that out, which is bad. The problem is that now push button forensics is going to be not only just putting the report out, but a possible interpretation of that data based on the tool itself, and that's going to compound the problem more. So I have a lot of issues with that, because we're doing like Jurassic Park, right? Just because we can do it doesn't mean that that maybe
Yeah.
we should, or at
Right,
least
right.
we should slow it down a little bit. Um,
Well, it all
yeah, and
sounds good to be faster, faster, faster. But
well, yeah, and
careful.
yeah, it's just. I guess that leads to the next point that I really wanted to bring, which I make in my post, is that thought process of the tool's gonna I'm gonna outsource my responsibility of parsing, of understanding. If the tool doesn't show it to me, I'm gonna assume it doesn't exist. That type of thought process is now migrating to how we are trained. If we put so much value on the tool output, it makes logical sense that how I learn to use the tool must be the most fundamental and important data forensics knowledge I could obtain. And I push on that. I push on it hard, at least from my perspective. The idea that I am only allowed to speak intelligently about using a tool because I got certified on that particular tool is bonkers to me. It's
Yeah.
just bonkers.
100%.
Like I don't need to be certified in tool X to be able to talk about it. Now, is it good to have a certification on it? Sure, it's good. But the level of knowledge and the level of expertise that I expect from examiners, from every practitioner in the field, has to be more than or more deeper than what the tool just provides to you in that type of abstraction, right? You have to know enough knowledge to understand that this output, what it means behind the scenes, and that's where we need to move towards. Anything less, as things get more abstracted, first it was abstracted by the tool, now it's abstracted by the AI, then it's going to be abstracted by the AI asking the questions for you and putting you the report, or us letting it be that way, and then having courts believe that if you don't have the certification from the company, you can't speak intelligently about using the tool is ridiculous. We
That's the
need to
worst
ascend the
part.
tool.
That's the worst part. Like I don't understand where this whole you have to be certified in the tool and know how to filter and how to maybe sort the columns. And if you have the fundamental knowledge of digital forensics, you should be able to apply that to any tool.
Well, and that's the discussion. That window is drifting away from, and I'll speak. I speak highly of ISIS. I'm part of it because I'm proud of being part of it. ISIS is founded on. We're going to learn about this about the hex. We're going to learn about how things, the data structures. We're going to talk about how are things stored, even a little bit of writing code, because if all, and this is something I took from Alice Caithness, he's in the chat, if all the things we're looking at comes from software, we need to know how software works. We need to understand some code because the results come from code, right? And we're moving away from that, and people strongly believe that, well, if I know how to have the certification from the tool, and tool, I hope nobody gets mad, but it's true. And we were talking about this before the show. If tool makers are starting to even take away those things, those like the hex, why would nobody wants to talk about hex? Let's take it out of our class.
They're starting to take it away. It's insane.
Oh
The
my
classes,
gosh.
the classes that I took when I first started in 2015 all incorporated a lot of the fundamentals in the beginning classes, the starter classes, and then they worked that into how the tool works. I've found several trainings now that just are getting rid of that fundamental training and just teaching this is how the tool works and here's your output and you're good to go now. You're certified in using the tool. I was always under the assumption since I started work in this field that I had to be certified in the tool to be able to testify to the results. And that is not true.
I mean, you could be certified in how to use a tool, but do not understand what the tool is providing to you.
Right.
Have no real understanding of what it means.
Definitely.
And again, people that make courses for these vendors will be like, well, no, we talk about artifacts, and okay, that's fine. But then again, if the artifact again comes from a data storage, it's put in some particular way, it has some nuance, it's some things there that if we don't discuss them and we just discuss the artifact in the context of look at it as it's parsed by us, that's a problem. I think we're taking or leaving that control that we have of our field. And at some point, something I discussed with Josh Higman and some other friends, The state might mandate us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know if that, maybe it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. That's a discussion for another day. But the state might require some certain, like doctors, like a board exam of some sort, right? Or engineers, right? And maybe that's where we're heading if we keep kind of outsourcing that to the vendors, outsourcing that to the LLM, outsourcing that to the tool. Like Adam is saying, I had this comment here up in the screen. You still need to understand how the tool came to its conclusion, and you need to understand it because the tool sometimes will come to the wrong conclusion, or a
Mhm.
conclusion that could be misinterpreted. The tool is not wrong, but what is you see on screen can be easily taken by another examiner who doesn't have the knowledge or has some motivation to not understand it and misinterpret it. And if you don't have the knowledge of how to kind of fix that wrong or right that wrong, then what? And a couple of folks in that posts were saying, well, but you don't understand. It's the prompt. If you have it's from prompt engineers. They really think about it. What happens when the AI itself generates its own prompts? you know,
Right.
so what, right? Your job is to make sure that those details are correct, and the only way you do that is by having a deep knowledge of fundamentals. Being an expert at something is not magic. It's just knowing a lot about the basics. If you know a lot about the basics, guess what? You're an expert.
Yeah. I mean, I find knowing a lot about the basics to be way more important. I have all the tool certifications. I do. I have them all. And then when it comes time to recertify them, sometimes there's a little test, but sometimes you don't have to do anything to recertify except say I went to training. So you're telling me on December 31st, I'm good to use the tool. And then on January 1st, if I haven't recertified, I'm no longer good to use the tool. I don't get it.
See, no, it's
I
like
don't
it's
get
like
it.
Men it's like Men in Black. That date, it'll be like, phew,
I know, right? I forget everything I ever learned.
what tool? What happened? I totally forgot about how to run this tool or what it
Yeah.
means. No, and again, I'm giving kind of vendors a hard time, but really the hard time is not the vendors, right? It's us, right? It's our organizations. If you're
Yes.
the head of a lab and you have to make a choice between, well, I'm gonna form a curriculum, right? It's okay to have vendor courses, but as the lead of that lab, you got to make sure that that curriculum also you hit the things that you need to hit, right? Not only say, well, if I have the 5 classes from X company, I'm good. They're experts.
Hmm.
Go ahead. No, we need to make
Exactly.
sure that they hit that. Those fundamentals are there. I'm a big proponent of in-house training and in-house certification, especially in your law enforcement. There's no reason why, I don't know, the police department of city X couldn't work with other agencies locally and develop a certification that's suited for them, the type of work that they do for their region, right? And kind of
I,
band together to make
yeah.
good curriculums for the region, if that makes sense.
I think that that could be coupled with webinars and workshops and the free online trainings, actual research, like get your new people or your new examiners to actually do research and development and kind of be a self-taught training.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
put a lot
I'll
of
say
weight into
I
that.
gotta again. Adam makes a good point. So the ISO requires to have tool training, right?
Mhm.
And we're not saying we shouldn't have tool training, right? And I know Adam. I think I know Adam agrees with me at this point. What we're saying is that tool training is you should have it, but tool training does
Yeah.
not substitute, does not make you. Tool training is not digital forensics, written large, right? It's part of digital forensics. It's good to have, but the fact of the matter is there are so many tools, even the ones you create yourself, that it's not realistic to be certified in every single tool, right?
Right.
So it should be part of it, and it's required for sure. That's a good thing. Having even if you're certified in it or not, because you could have tool training and not have certification on it, right? Um, but to think that our curriculums are going to be tool trainings with certification and have enough of those, I'm a forensics expert. I don't believe that's the case. In my organization, we have a process in-house that hits those fundamentals, which I agree with. ASIS is one organization that their courses, they hit the fundamentals from the ground level, which I agree with. And I think even vendors should start kind of not forgetting about those as they develop their curriculums. Just you cannot be an expert in a 2-week class, even if they advertise it as that, right? Oh, you don't have time. You want to be
Yeah.
an expert really quick? It's easy. Take our $10,000 course. I'm sorry, PR people. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Public,
Not at
not
all.
public, yeah, marketing people, get out of here. That's not a thing. But anyways.
2 weeks is definitely not long enough. But back to the certifications and the tools though too. Like you have to have this certification to create a report out of this tool and testify to this. But what about the person's digital forensics degree that they have hundreds of hours of training in? I think that should have a little more weight as well than the tool trainings.
Oh, I agree, because this field came out, or at least the practitioners didn't came from universities. They were like me. When I started, there was no degree ever. It didn't exist. A data forensics degree, what was that? It didn't exist. You had to get certified only. But and you make a good point. As we're moving towards more of a systematic college level education for this field, it should be complementary. And also, again, there's different training programs. Some degrees are from our university and not be as good as the others. We get that. But I mean, a person that took a 2-course week on how to run a tool, I'm sorry, I'm gonna give more weight to the person that has 4 years and had to take a binary class. Like, what's binary? What's hex? I will really put a lot of weight on that. And me personally, again, one big point for everybody: neither Heather nor myself speaks for our organizations. Okay, these are our opinions. We don't reflect our employers. Our opinions are ours, and they're subject to change at any moment.
Yeah.
So we don't speak for our employers. It's just us as a practitioners sharing what we think. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. So this topic with the tool trainings though, I mean, we started to kind of talk about that last episode on the meme of the week, and I just thought we should maybe continue it because a lot of people were interested in talking about it. But I don't know, a message out to the vendors from me, not my organization: put the fundamentals training back into the basic tool trainings, please. If you've removed it, not everybody has.
I agree 100%. And talking about tool development, right? I think there's been some changes in how we look at some data. I think in iOS, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah. Yep. So Heather Mahalik Barnhart actually just put a new blog out. So Apple has changed the way message retention is tracked in the com.apple mobile SMS P list. The P list value for message retention used to be keep messages 4 days. And then after that keep messages 4 days field, you would have a value of 0 for forever, 365 for a year, or 30 for 30 days. In iOS 17, you'll need to rely on the value that's found with SS keep messages for the latest message retention setting. So Heather has a nice little blog that she just published on Smarter Forensics, which is her blog. I'll put it up in the show notes after, so nobody has to write it down. But keep in mind, if you're in that iOS 17, your message retention will be found under a different value.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I think Kevin is already working on how to adapt our parsers to this new iOS 17 knowledge, because you're used to looking at a place for one thing, and now it's different.
Right.
and only different. The old thing is still there, but
Yeah.
if it's iOS 17, it doesn't count. Just because it's there doesn't mean anything. And again, that talks about a tool reporting a value there. Yeah, it might report the value from the original setting, but in iOS 17, it doesn't apply anymore. So again, you gotta be careful. You gotta make sure you keep up to speed with the things that are happening. And right now, if you were to parse iOS 17 on many tools, they will tell you the retention level for these messages, and it's gonna be wrong if they haven't looked at this new field within the file. Which it's exactly what we're talking about a second ago.
Right. Right.
We cannot outsource. We need to be in the know, be part of the community to keep ourselves up to date.
Kevin says more testing, but it's coming. And of course, Adam writes, "Do you sleep, Kevin?" I don't think he does.
No, he definitely does not.
Oh wait, he doesn't. He's got a baby too. So
yeah, exactly.
There's no chance he's sleeping ever.
Look, I empathize with him. I went through it twice. He's going through his first beautiful child, so he doesn't sleep. So I feel you, man.
Another blog that's out that is definitely worth checking out. The Identity Lookup Service. So it's a blog by, and I hope I don't kill his name, but Django. And I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna try the last one.
No, try. Just the D side. Try it that way. Django Fiola.
Viola. Okay, got it. So his blog talks about the Identity Services ID status cache plist and how it caches records of the Apple user ID authentication data. Um, Even if the data has been deleted from the phone's directory, the authentication file remains intact, containing contact and communication records that you can parse. So it's important to note that this data only confirms that an authentication occurred, but does not mean that a conversation happened or that a message was actually sent. And actually, I had that misconception when I first started looking at these records. I saw the authentication and I assumed that I was going to find, if it wasn't deleted, I was going to find a message to go along with an SMS authentication. But be careful of that. You don't want to use that artifact and say, oh, yeah, they messaged this person, because it's not necessarily true.
And every time I hear somebody explain this interaction C, it's like, well, moving right along. like
Yeah.
it's so badly we talk about that a lot, but it's so badly explained when in some circles. So I appreciate him kind of bringing that up and giving us a chance to really, and you to underline the significance and then the caveats.
Yeah. So along with this blog, there's also support now that was submitted to iLeap and has been added to iLeap for the identity lookup service. I have some screenshots of that, actually. I'll pull those up.
Bring them up, and I like it a lot because you can. So the interactions have this like kind of unique ID, right? That even if it happened or not, at least you can tell what the interaction was with what. It was a message. Was it when you the FaceTime, whatever it was. So what he did, I was looking at the code before I merged it, and it's pretty neat because you can see how you can at least figure out what that interaction was intended towards, which kind of gives you some knowledge in what the intention of the user was, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah. So that's what it'll look like when you run this now on iLeap, which I'm excited about this one to see a different view. I've used Celebrate and it's parsed right in Celebrate. But this is nice to have a second tool there verifying the authentication.
Yeah, you can see there
under Axiom
service
too. Yeah.
Axiom too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you can see
I'm sure several others.
Yeah, under service type, you see email, you see telephone, you can see message,
yeah.
And then what that search was done for the identity lookup service was related to. So I think that's pretty neat. Again, like you're saying, I love to have open source things because we can then it's not a black box. You can look at how it's actually parsed and have a good sense, a confidence on what that output is. So whenever we can do that ourselves as a community, it's a big add. You don't have, I tell people that are listening, you don't have to create this new thing for it to have value. If you can create something that's already being done, but do it in a manner that's transparent and available and reachable for the community, you are doing an incredible contribution to the general knowledge in the field. Okay, if you can take something out of that black box and let us understand how it works, it's going to be extremely useful and well received. So don't get discouraged. Don't look for the unicorn artifact that nobody's seen. You know what I mean? The things that we know help us understand them better.
So also with the leaps, let me pull up. Gabe Birchfield wrote a LinkedIn post recently. I'm going to share that with everybody. There we go. So I'm going to just read it. Forensic examiners, practitioners, never hesitate to reach out when you need assistance or a second opinion. I was recently conducting an examination on a Samsung Galaxy on an ICAC investigation. All of the easy evidence had been deleted by the user. However, I know not everything is gone. The images and videos associated with the cyber tip had been deleted. The internet browser history and downloads had been deleted. That's it, right? Wrong. LDBs to the rescue. So the level DBs. A shared protobuf associated with the Samsung browser had the data I wanted, but it wasn't easy to display it to a non-forensic person. Keys, values, timestamps, compression, not easy to convey to a jury. I got a hold of Alexis Brignoni and said, "Can you help me make this look nice?" More or less. Within a short period of time, he added it to his ALEAP tool as a parsed artifact, Samsung browser shared protobuf. Thanks for the assistance, and now everyone has access to this artifact with his tool. I also want to thank Ian Whiffen for creating Mushy, a free tool that allowed me to see the level DB values easier to begin with. Never give up when you think there is no evidence. Don't depend on one tool to find everything you need. Do some forensic digging and make every case count.
Honestly, after that, I could be like, well, thank you for being here.
So
We're gonna close the
I
show.
love this post. I love this
Yeah.
post because we talk about the level DBs a lot and how they're commonly like they're skipped over. They're not looked at. Some people don't even know what they are. And I think having these cases where they aided in maybe generating an arrest or a conviction, the more you share this, I think the more people will begin to start taking the level DB seriously.
Oh,
there's a lot of
absolutely.
data in there.
Oh, and in all sorts of formats. In this case, the level DB had protobuf in it, so you had to get an extra level of deal with an extra level of not abstraction, but of file formatting there. And it was good. I was in New Zealand when he sent me the request, and I started looking at it. And so I wasn't teaching the whole time, right? I had other two instructors, so when they were teaching, I was able to kind of start doing some of that code. And before I left New Zealand, we had it done because as community members, the community is really helpful, and I know he needed this for a case, so I was really happy and excited to be able to help him push the case forward and bring justice to the victims. And it was amazing the amount of data that was there, amazing, and I'm glad that now everybody can benefit from it. If you have a case with a Samsung device, do run A-Leap, because you're gonna get some good stuff that you might not expect. And again, thanks for Gabe for doing the research. I couldn't do my part if he had done the digging. So we worked together and we got that output. So I'm really pleased with it.
Awesome. One more what's new with the Leap. So metadata forensics actually added watch sleep data report. So it is sleep data. The artifacts provide a glance review to sleep periods when the Apple Watch is worn. The data is broken into sleep states following Apple's use of them and breaks down the data to mirror the health application's review of sleep. I have a couple screenshots of this too. So, oops, hold on one second. There we go.
Yeah.
So there's the health sleep all watch sleep data report. Has sleep start time, sleep state, sleep end time, and the sleep state hours, minutes, and seconds.
Yeah, and the guy that does the coding for them for these artifacts, his name slips my mind. What a great guy,
James McGee.
James McGee, what a gentleman! What a gentleman! He's a good guy. I'm really happy that again him and through Metadata Forensics, who he works for, they made this available to the public. I cannot thank him and the company he works for again helping the community have access to this data.
Just a second screenshot too. So we have some more sleep period report now with the sleep start time and the time in bed, time asleep, awake duration, REM duration, core duration, deep duration. So it's got the percentages of when you're awake and when you're in those other states of sleep.
Oh yeah, and it goes without saying how important this might be on all sorts of cases, right?
Yeah.
Especially events that happen in the middle of the night and you're like, what happened here? That's definitely helpful.
Definitely. Let's see. I think now we are to everybody's favorite part, the meme of the week.
Yeah.
Let me share our meme of the week. So somebody asked in the chat earlier on, have you been watching the Olympics or enjoying the Olympics? We have. And the meme of the week brings that in a little bit. So we have a meme with AI, third-party tool parsers, analytics, automation, and it is a shooter from the Olympics with all the gear on, the special glasses and all the special gear to help with precision of shooting. And then we have under the hex editor, the guy from Turkey who walked in like he just rolled out of bed, pointed the gun, and won the silver. I think he's my new hero.
He just has his little glasses on and just
oh my god,
and with his hand in his pocket, he's like, you know what? I'm just here to win some medals. Okay, bye.
Some of the comments that have been going around on his pictures are just amazing. Somebody said that his wife sent him out to the store to get milk, and he stopped off at the Olympics and won the silver. There's just some really good comments on it, and I mean, he looks badass.
Well, he looks badass because of the simplicity, right?
Yes.
And that kind of speaks to when you have fundamental knowledge, right? A hex editor and you just look at the hex and so what. But when you know what you're looking at, right,
Hmm.
you can be pretty dangerous in a good way, right? So the
Yeah.
simplicity, being able to get the job in a simple, direct way, uh, gives you that badass kind of badass
Yeah.
attitude. But
Yeah.
you get to your results in a way that's unshakable, right? Somebody might try to come at you and say things, but no, you know what's going on. When you have those fundamentals, you will get that silver or gold without so many going arounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, one more thing.
Mhm.
Alex is saying that about that file that we're talking about that we're working on. He may have some more info on it and some extra code, which again,
Oh, good.
I'm all for making things better. So I'm so
Yeah.
happy that again, even the show we can have a even grow. We did something, we can even make it better. So that's important that you're here and let other people know, that there's some community resources that we can interact and exchange information. It's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we have come to the end of the show. We took a little bit
We have.
longer, but at this point, I'm not gonna say that anymore because the show is now like an hour and 10 every single time. So we finished just in time.
Yeah. I didn't think we had enough topics this week. Apparently, we did.
Well, I mean, I took half of it just talking about New Zealand. So,
That's true.
well, Heather, anything else for the good order?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, and thank you all the folks that are in the chat. We love you. We appreciate your thoughts. We learn from you, and we'll be hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Oh, although you'll be traveling, I think, right? So
I'm
keep
here
keep
for the
keep.
next one.
Yeah,
We're
okay, good,
good.
good.
We're
I know
good
you
for the
have a
next one in
travel.
2 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got travel up, but always keep track of our LinkedIn's, like personal ones, also the Guitar Forensics Now podcast, LinkedIn, and the social media, so you can know where's the show. There's a see, we're not gonna hit it now because we're closing the show, but somebody has a
Oops.
question. Yeah, bring it up if you can
I was just gonna say we
about
both hit it at the same time.
about a .mov file in the files provider storage photo picker. What I suggest, Mark, you should do is go to the defer Discord and go to defer Discord and ask your question in the decoding section, and maybe some folks there might be able to help. You don't have to wait for us or for folks in this chat.
Yeah, you know what? Too, just looking at it quickly though, Google file provider storage, and just put the word forensics after. There's a blog. There's a blog on that. I know there is, and it
Oh,
should
there we
come
go.
right up. It should come right up. The key is to anything you're searching that's forensic related. Put the word forensics at the end of your search, and I think you'll find a good blog on that.
Fantastic. And again, also the defer Discord is a great resource. People are always
Yeah,
asking questions, interacting,
definitely.
and it's open 24/7. So do that. Thank you everybody for being here, and thank you for appreciating the memes. And we'll be seeing each other hopefully if all goes well in the next weeks.
Yes.
So take care and talk to everybody soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.